Some very special guests in the studio this morning, and I want to welcome first Jeff Carroll to the microphone. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Now, you've got an interesting story that involves adoption, right?
That's correct.
And so tell us your story about wanting to get some new members in the family.
Well, we have two biological daughters already, but we felt God leading us to adopt some children, and we've decided to adopt a sibling group, a boy and a girl from India.
And you and your wife, Amanda, you began pursuing this. And what are some of the challenges that someone faces when you decide to do this?
Some of the challenges, first of all, are just the emotional challenges of the risk and the unknowns. And then convincing family members that especially adopting foreign children is a good thing and is going to be okay and there's not going to be any problems. And then the third and the biggest is probably the financial burden that it takes to adopt, especially international adoption.
I know that, sometimes from the outside looking in, it seems like that would be an easy process because these are kids who need a home. But it actually is, it's a very complex thing and you needed some help, right?
That's correct. The cost is aggravating, to say the least, from the outside looking in. But what I got peace from is realizing that it's just a ransom, and it's no different than the ransom that God the Father paid for us. And if we look at it as too big of a ransom, then shame on us, because we've all been adopted ourselves. So.
Well, that's a great word for everybody and a great perspective to have. And Amanda, I see you there, and I want to bring you in because y'all actually found some help through an organization, right?
We did. As Jeff was saying, the cost of adoption is so high, so we decided to do a Both Hands project. Both Hands is an organization whose purpose is to help families raise funds for orphans while serving widows through home improvement projects. The goal is to live out James 1:27 by helping orphans and widows in their affliction. One hand is to help the widow, while the other hand is to help the orphan. And both hands get very dirty in the project.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an incredible story. First of all, how y'all found Both Hands, and you have this in the back of your mind, the promise of new members added to your family, and so it makes you want to work in that way. But then you got the challenge of, you found the orphans. Now, how do you find the widow? And is that how the story's going? Then you're trying to find that part, that piece of the puzzle?
That's right. All projects that begin with an adoptive family who then has to locate a widow in need in the community. The family recruits a team of volunteers to work on the widow's house. The team members then send out letters to find sponsors for their day of work. It's just like a 5K race or a golf or charity event, but instead of running or playing, we're going to be working on a widow's house. All supplies are donated by local merchants, so 100% of the funds raised goes to the adoption, bringing the orphans one step closer to home. So in our search for a widow, we discovered House of Heroes, which is an organization with a similar mission.
Right. And as a matter of fact, Kelly Darr from House of Heroes is here. And Kelly, this is, first of all, it's what you do. You help the widows and actually veterans repair houses, kind of keep their things in order, and maybe when they're in need of help the most. Now, this is kind of an interesting connection that they've made with y'all, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This is our first connection with Both Hands. And it's been a wonderful partnership for House of Heroes. And our mission is to help honor veterans later in life is what we start with the oldest veterans first. And a lot of times the veteran has passed on, so it is their surviving spouse. Mm-hmm. And that's where the connection with Both Hands, helping a widow, is coming in.
Right. And y'all already had someone in mind, someone in need, and it kind of, it met the Carroll's needs, and it also met your need as well, or the widow's need, right?
Yes, we had a widow on the list that she'd been on our list for several years, but her home is located in Phoenix City, and a lot of local organizations want to help the widows or the veterans in their community. So that's outside of the Columbus community, and a lot of times it's harder to get people to work on homes in Phoenix City or Smith Station.
Right. So you've got the project, you've got the orphans, you've got the widow. The rest of the puzzle is, first of all, the donations that are necessary from the businesses to build or do the repairs, and then you have the donations needed for to further the adoption. How do you go about getting those? Like, how can we use this moment on the radio to call on people to answer those questions?
Well, they can be in contact with us here at House of Heroes. They can contact us at 706-569-7011. We can connect them with the Carrolls if they would like to donate. All donations are tax deductible. We are a local nonprofit. We do not receive any federal funding. Everything that we do is through the funds that we receive that are raised here in our community.
Okay, and do you have a website as well?
We do. It's www.houseofheroes.org.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here, Kelly. I do want to talk to Jeff another time. It doesn't take a super spiritual person to see God at work here. You know, what has this meant to you to have all the provisions kind of coming in line? I mean, there's still work to do. I don't want to paint that picture because we're actually asking for volunteers and we're asking for donations. There's still work to be done, but you really see God at work in your story.
We do. This entire process has been a growth process for us. One, being willing to step out a limb and be very vocal with the whole adoption message that permeates the entire Bible. And so everyone that's a Christian has been adopted, and we can all relate to that. And to live that out in our lives on earth has been amazing.
Yeah.
So
That's great. Now, did you have something else about the contact information that you want to share with us?
we did, as far as supporting the adoption, anyone listening can go to bothhands.org. They can click on the project tab at the top of the screen for the current family projects. And then if they scroll down to September 29th, they'll see a project called Jeff and Amanda Carroll. And then they could donate to support the orphans should they choose to.
Okay. Well, that's great. So if you're listening to this, if you want to support financially or actually put on some gloves and go out and help, you can do either. And if you're a business listening and you want to sponsor the project by donating some materials or anything like that, it's bothhands.org or houseofheroes.org. Okay. And also check out the project specifically and look for Jeff and Amanda. And of course, this is to benefit them getting these orphans and new family members into their household. So we wish you all the best. And if we can help in any way, we will. So God bless y'all in your efforts.
Thank you.
All right, one more time. That is bothhands.org. You scroll down to under the project list to September project. September 29th is Jeff and Amanda Carroll's project. So if you can sign up, that would be awesome. There's a morning session and an afternoon session. Whatever you can do, however you can participate, check it out, bothhands.org. All right, we'll get back to the music here on 88.5 The Truth.